Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing today? I hope you guys are doing well. Today guys, I'll be checking out this video from Brett Cooper and it's titled The Hypocrisy of Joe Biden Pardoning His Son. You guys, I'm excited for this, and without much ado, let's see what Brett Cooper has for us in this video.
How far would you go to protect your children?
I will eat my neighbors.
That is the question that Joe Biden just had to answer. And apparently for him, that means pardoning your son of all crimes, even though you promised the American people repeatedly that you would not do that. Now, obviously, the American people are angry about the lies. They don't believe that Hunter Biden deserves a pardon. And so many parents online are grappling with what they would do in Joe Biden's position and whether the president really did take it too far. But considering that this pardon is totally in service of Joe Biden himself, I think that this is totally expected. Before we dive into this story, though, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the comment section channel if you've not already, and of course, ring that notification bell to make sure that you stay up to date on all of our episodes. So yesterday evening, just before jet setting off to a random last-minute trip to Africa and shutting down his press room for the immediate future, Joe Biden dropped the bombshell that he would be pardoning his son, Hunter Biden. Yes, it is that Hunter with the laptop, the pipes, the prostitutes, the illegal guns, all of that. And this was the press release that the Biden admin dropped. He said, statement from President Joe Biden on December 1st, and he said, today I signed a pardon for my son Hunter. From the day I took office, I said that I would not interfere with the Justice Department's decision-making, and I kept my word, even as I have watched my son be selectively and unfairly prosecuted. Without aggravating factors like use in a crime, multiple purchases, or buying a weapon as a straw purchaser, people are almost never brought to trial on felony charges solely for how they filled out a gun form. Those who were late in paying their taxes because of serious addictions but paid them back subsequently with interest and penalties are typically given non-criminal resolutions. It is clear that Hunter was treated differently. Now, continuing on, he discusses these cases a bit more and how he feels like they were heightened purely because Hunter is his son, and then he ended the press release with this. He said, no reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's cases can reach any other conclusion that Hunter was singled out only because he is my son, and that is wrong. There's been an effort to break Hunter, who has been 5.5 years sober, even in the face of unrelenting attacks and selective prosecution. In trying to break Hunter, they have tried to break me, and there's no reason to believe that it will stop here. Enough is enough. For my entire career, I have followed a simple principle. Just tell the American people the truth. They will be fair-minded. Here's the truth. I believe in the justice system, but as I have wrestled with this, I also believe raw politics has infected this process and it led to a miscarriage of justice. And once I made the decision this weekend, there was no sense in delaying it further. I hope Americans will understand why a father and a president would come to this decision. And you know what's interesting to me, just like purely thinking about my emotional reaction, this might be the most human and understandable that Biden has been in the last 4 years, even though he definitely did not write any of this himself. And you might be thinking, okay, a father pardoned his son, what's new? The whole family is corrupt. We should have expected this. But Joe Biden, again, has repeatedly promised that this was something that he would not do. That is why people are surprised. And I don't mean that this issue was something that was barely talked about or brushed under the rug. I mean that he was asked about this time and time again. And he said that he was drawing a line in the sand and this was not in the realm of possibilities during his presidency. I mean, even a few months ago while he was still running for president, he said this in an interview.
Your son Hunter is on trial.
Yeah, this was recent.
And I know that you cannot speak about an ongoing federal prosecution. But let me ask you, will you accept the jury's outcome, their verdict, no matter what it is?
Yes.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
Famous last words, Biden, for sure. And so him turning around and doing this in the basically final days of his presidency is just another example of the lying and corrupt nature of these politicians. I mean, like, seriously, look at how many times this possibility was denied.
When would the president pardon or commute his son if he's convicted?
So I've answered this question before. It was asked of me not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, and I was very clear, and I said no.
No.
Okay. We go back to the first question of the briefing. I know you said not a lot's changed since yesterday and that it's a personal matter, but from a presidential perspective, is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No.
Again, you've also said several times that the president would
That outfit.
Pardon or community
Just as an aside.
his son Hunter. I just want to make sure that that is not going to change over the next 6 months. The president's saying he would not.
It's still a no.
Still a no. It is still a no.
Still a no. It will be a
What
no.
went wrong?
It is a no, and I don't have anything else to add. Will he pardon his son? No.
Well, There you have it. Yet another slap in the
just
face
did.
of Americans who put their trust in this man. But interestingly, to a lot of people, this really isn't that big of a deal. Some might even say that it's admirable, like Michael Knowles, who last night tweeted, "Deeply unpopular take. Good on Joe for pardoning Hunter. He looked out for his boy. Plus, the DOJ never even prosecuted Hunter for his serious crimes, distracting instead with relatively minor gun and tax issues. Bonus, Joe exposes Dems as crooked, sanctimonious, and self-dealing liars." Colin Roog also said, "I don't think anyone is surprised by this. This is a father looking out for his son, and I would bet that Trump would do the same. Biden, unlike Trump, is a failed father, and this was the least he could do for his troubled son." Similarly, Ashley St. Clair said that she wasn't surprised, and last night she posted, "I actually don't care that Joe Biden pardoned his son." Another person replied and said, "Who wouldn't pardon their own kid?" And this discourse created a whole debate in and of itself, ignoring the politics of it all and focusing specifically on parenting, because there were, of course, others who completely disagreed with this premise, like Matt Walsh, who tweeted, "Along with everything else, giving your adult son a blanket pardon for any and all crimes committed during a period of a decade is also very bad parenting. Shielding your adult child from all consequences for their abhorrent behavior makes you a shit father, not to mention a president. Nothing we didn't know, of course." And while I do understand wanting to protect your child, and I'm sure that a lot of people would do what Biden just did, I am personally much more in the Matt Walsh camp, because Hunter Biden is a grown-ass adult. He is responsible for his actions and his bad decisions. And yes, of course, there was particular attention on him because he is the son of the president, but it's kind of a double-edged sword, because that probably means that he should be held to a higher standard, and Biden should represent strength and discipline as a father and as a president. And clearly, he hasn't done either. And I also think I'm biased because on a much smaller scale, I have had to watch my parents make decisions like this with their own children. I mean, not to, air out all of my dirty laundry, but as you guys know, my family is far from perfect. We have dealt with substance abuse. We have dealt with college expulsions, arrests, me having to go find my brother on the street, hoping that he had not overdosed. And at the end of the day, those were all decisions that those individuals made in their own lives. They faced the consequences of those choices, and my family did not bail them out. We never bailed them out. We obviously loved them through all of this, but they faced the music, and I believe that that is the right thing to do. And you might be thinking, okay, Brett, well, it's not really a big deal. He didn't pay some taxes. He bought a gun illegally. Who cares? We have bigger fish to fry in this country. Well, my friends, that is not exactly what happened. It wasn't really about those charges.
Wow, you guys, what are your thoughts on this video? What do you think about Joe Biden pardoning his son, Hunter Biden? If you happen to be in Joe Biden's shoe and you were to be the American president, would you pardon your grown son? Would you pardon your 50-something years old son? Or you rather the justice system does its job? Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below, and let's continue watching, you guys.
But now back to some more important charges. In his presser, Biden touched on the gun and the tax stuff, but in his actual pardon, those weren't mentioned. That was not what the pardon was about. Instead of addressing those specific crimes that he has been prosecuted for and maybe limiting the scope of the pardon for a while Biden was in office, he pardoned Hunter for all crimes dating back to 2014. 11 years of crimes. Just look. This says executive grant of clemency, Robert Hunter Biden, a full and unconditional pardon for those offenses against the United States which he has committed or may have committed or taken part in during the period from January 1st, 2014 through December 1st, 2024. The entire thing is so vague, and that is intentional. Because what happened in 2014? Well, that is when Hunter Biden fatefully joined the board of Burisma Holdings in Ukraine, starting the alleged business dealings that possibly and illegally made the Biden family rich. 2014 was allegedly also when Hunter's biolab company started their dealings in Ukraine. And of course, his father, Joe Biden, has been tied to all of that and has been accused of using his political power to sway things in the favor of his son's business dealings, like when he bragged about getting the Ukrainian government to fire the prosecutor that was literally investigating Burisma Holdings.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired.
Just look at those headlines. Ukrainian prosecutor Viktor Shokin was abruptly dismissed following public pressure most adamantly applied by Vice President Biden. Liz Wheeler posted this and said, Hunter Biden joined the board of Burisma in 2014. By pardoning Hunter for any crimes he may have committed from 2014 to 2024, Joe Biden is protecting his family's criminal cartel. Wow. This pardon ain't about the gun charge. The big guy is protecting himself from Kash Patel. Boom. Mic drop. And if you guys missed it, Kash was just appointed to the head of the FBI by Trump literally family this weekend, so the timing of all of this and this just sudden pardon certainly is suspect. So no, I do not think that this was just a nice, wholesome, rosy-cheeked father trying to do the right thing by his son. This entire pardon is riddled with corruption, in my opinion. I mean, another example, just listen to this. Jack Posobiec posted this yesterday. Breaking. Over Thanksgiving, Hunter told his father about a book he was writing that would go public with everything. Days later, his father signed a blanket pardon per a White House official. And if that's true, that just makes the entire thing even crazier. But the point of all of this is, and me sharing all of this, is that it's not just Hunter's ass who's on the line, it is the entire family. That, in my opinion, is why he was pardoned. And obviously, it is disappointing because he repeatedly lied about all of this, but it is certainly not shocking. Now, lastly, putting all previous crimes aside, my friend Link made a great point in his video about this and acknowledged that in just a couple months, Biden will not be in power. And for the first time in years, he will be in the private sector, and he and Jill are going to need an income that is not on the backs of our tax dollars. And who in their family knows how to drum up money? Well, that would be little old Hunter. Just listen.
Now, I understand Joe Biden loves his son, but I also think he pardoned Hunter because Hunter is a hustler. He knows how to go sit on boards and rake in tens of thousands of dollars a month when he has no business sitting on those boards in the first place. In about 50 days, Joe and Jill and Hunter are about to be sent off to the private sector. The Bidens will not be in power anymore, and I think they're going to need Hunter to find them money and find them deals. That is what I think this is really about. Hunter Biden in business would call his father Joe Biden the big guy. I think Joe and Jill know we are going to need Hunter moving forward. He's not going to be as valuable to us if he is behind bars.
Telling you, the corruption, guys, it runs deep. Not just in this family, of course, but just in politics in general in DC. And it all goes back to protecting little old Joe. And lastly, to try and end this on a positive note, as ridiculous as this is, as ridiculous of a parenting move as I think this does set a precedent for Trump's pardons because Biden has essentially acknowledged lawfare. He has acknowledged the weaponization of the justice system, which obviously Trump, his team, and his supporters intimately understand. So it'll be interesting to see what he does with this precedent and with this information. And it really can't get more corrupt than lying repeatedly and then pardoning your son to save your own ass. So Trump, basically, go do what you want, clear house, drain the swamp. We obviously need it more than ever.
Wow, you guys, that was such an interesting one from Brett Cooper. And let me know what you guys think about Joe Biden pardoning his son. Do you guys think every father would have done the same for their son, considering the age of that son in question? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. I really enjoyed every minute of this video, and I believe you guys also enjoyed watching. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.